Hello, and welcome to Cooking with Dr. Fred. As you know, I like to make everything in usually in one pot or pan, so it's just easier. And today what I'm going to make is a frittata, which is sort of an Italian omelet. You could also think of it as a crustless quiche. So instead of making the omelet, in the pan, Italians will saute up the vegetables. Well, you'll see, and then it gets baked in the oven. So the first thing we should do is preheat the oven to 400. Because that's the temperature that this will work. Mine is a convection oven, so it'll cook it a little quicker. If yours isn't, it's all good too. So the first thing you want to do is start with chopping vegetables. So we're going to use some scallion to start with. You chop the edge, the little bit of where the roots are of the scallion, and then you throw them away. And I have a garbage pan there. I'm not just throwing it onto the floor, so don't worry about that. And then we'll just chop them up really nicely. They can be in small chunks if you want. They can be in bigger chunks if you want. It just gives it a really nice flavor and texture. And you're getting some of the, you're getting different colors. And when you're cooking, you like to cook for health reasons as well. So you're getting, you're getting some benefits from the white color. You're getting some other phytonutrients from the green colors. So you're getting a variety of things. And as I taught you before in several other episodes, you really can put in a frittata whatever you want. So this is yet another one of those meals where all you have to do is get the basic right, and then you can add any vegetables you want. Today I'm adding scallions, and you can go up as high as you want. I generally go into the green because I like that tanginess that it gives. Then you throw the rest of that away. I'm also gonna do a jalapeno. I'm going to do a red pepper. So we've got different colors. You've got different phytonutrients, each one of these, and broccoli. I know I used broccoli in the last meal too, but broccoli is sort of one of my favorite things. So, and it's so versatile, so it's easy to use. So you throw that in there, and broccoli has all of those good cancer-fighting compounds that many people take in pill form. So now you don't have to take it in pill form. You can eat it, and it's even better that way. Jalapeno is really easy. I like it spicy, so I'm gonna leave the seeds in. If you don't like it spicy, you can take the seeds out. You can chop it in a different way, and that will take the seeds out of it as well. I mean, taking the seeds out decreases the heat of it, but I kind of like the heat in a pepper, especially in something that's spicy. And because it's a rather large jalapeno, I'm just going to chop it into different pieces so that whoever I'm serving this to their tongue does not go on fire. I like when my tongue goes on fire, but not everybody likes that. So you just throw that in the pan, really super simple and easy. And then we're going to chop up the pepper. Peppers are so easy to chop up. One end, the other end. Then you get the middle, and then you can get rid of the middle of this one. And then out that goes into the trash. This is all trash. And it's really easy to chop up the pepper. Oops, that's probably blocking your view. And it really doesn't have to be exact. That's the beauty of cooking. It does not have to be exact. So you're getting some carotenoids in the red pepper, which makes it really fun. You can chop it whatever. It's all about whatever your comfort level is. I sometimes chop it into bigger pieces, smaller pieces. It really doesn't matter. But what does matter is that you just get a bunch of different color in here, because that's what's really gonna make this dish healthier for you. And the other beauty about making a frittata, and it's something else I also like to do as a general rule, is this can be used for lunch, it can be used for brunch, it can be used for dinner, it can be used to take to the office the next day. You can do so many, it's so versatile. And again, that's why I like cooking, where you can just change up the ingredients. You can just literally take whatever's in your refrigerator that's maybe going bad and you haven't gotten to yet, and you can throw it into this frittata. It's really that simple. Which is the way most Italians usually cook. Anyway, we usually have it's usually peasant food, mostly, that a lot of Italians like to cook. So it's sort of, you throw in whatever's in the kitchen, into the pan before it goes bad. I'm gonna chop off the big chunk of the broccoli. Then, as I told you before, I like getting rid of all of little bits so that it's just a little bit more interesting. And again, when you get the sulforaphanes from this, it's all really nice and tasty. Get rid of the thick white bits because that's the bits that's going to have the most carbohydrates in it. So you kind of want to stay away from that, especially if you're keto. And this is pretty much a frittata is going to be with eggs. So if you're vegetarian, you could probably do it with tofu scramble as well to make it a little bit more vegan if you wanted to. But I'm not a big fan of using those vegan egg substitutes because you guys know I'm not a big fan of using any artificial foods. I just like using real food. Okay, so now all the vegetables have been cooked. And you can see there's a variety of different colors in there. You can see red, white, green. Oh, well, that's Italian like me. And there you go. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start, we're gonna saute them. So I use, you know how I like to use macadamia nut oil because it's better for you than olive oil. It's got a higher smoke point, it will not burn. So this fork, because olive oil is great for salads, but you can't really cook with olive oil. And if you're really in the Mediterranean, they don't really slobber things with olive oil. What they'll do is they'll roast a piece of fish, they'll do something, and then when they take it out of the oven, they'll drizzle the olive oil over the plate, and that's how you get that nice, delicious flavor. But cooking with olive oil is just never a good thing to do. I kind of just eyeball how much oil you'll need, because remember what I told you several times is that this will sort of shrink down. You'll get a lot of water, it'll add a little bit of, the vegetables give off their own sort of fluid as well, so you don't want to overdo it. The other thing I should remind you is that when I was chopping up the rest of the vegetables and throwing a lot of the stems away and things like that, you could also use that to make a great vegetable broth or a vegetable stock, because I'm a big fan of having stocks around, because stocks just add flavor to things. I mean, in my freezer right now, I think there's a beef stock, there's vegetable stock, and there is a fish stock that I made from a fish head that I got from the farmer's market the other day. So that's really good. So we're going to turn this on, sort of medium heat so that they can saute. And while they're sauteing, what we'll do is we will get the eggs ready. This bottle is done, so we'll put that off camera. And then we're going to get the eggs ready. So I'm going to use about 8 eggs. And generally for about 8 eggs, you need about 2 cups, 2.5 cups of vegetable. It's really to your liking. So we're just gonna, I'm not very fancy with cracking eggs, sorry guys. That's one trick I never learned. Don't have nimble enough fingers, but these are just nice organic eggs that you can use. I got them at my local farmer's market, which is just a couple blocks down the block. And then the thing that I like to do with eggs, or with the cartons, I should say, is give them back to the farmer so that they can reuse them, because cartons are reusable. These are cardboard. You could also recycle them as well as if you want it. So we're going to do 8 eggs, maybe a little bit more because this batch is smaller eggs. Maybe I'll do 10 eggs for this. That was 8. All right, we'll do 9. How about that? We'll compromise on that. All right, so the eggs can go away. And these are starting to steam up, so I'm gonna get something to stir them with. You'll notice back here, that's all of my COVID supplies. Masks and gloves and vitamins, don't forget vitamin D and C, and zinc, all there. I'm gonna turn this up just a little higher because it doesn't seem to be going as quickly as I would like. Okay. Then to the egg mixture, I'm going to add, I'm not going to use a whisk because I'm better with a fork than a whisk, but you can use a whisk. That would be the appropriate thing to do. If we were on the cooking channel, we'd use a whisk, but I'm going to use a fork, an old-fashioned fork. And then there's this amazing, a friend brought me this amazing super salt, which is just hitting the market. It's Sicilian sea salt with fresh herbs and garlic. And when you open it up, it literally smells like Italy. It's just amazing how, and I'm just gonna use my fingers to put in some salt in there. Because what I found is if you season the eggs, you don't have to season this as much. But I'll throw some seasoning in there as well. And as you know, I'm a big fan of salt. I think it keeps your kidneys going, especially very, very helpful in the summertime. And especially for older people, because older people tend to dehydrate and then they don't drink as much. And actually, even this week, I had a patient that almost needed hospitalization because she was getting so dizzy and falling over and that sort of thing. And all it was that she had low sodium. And it was simple as that. And she was ready to go to the hospital and do that. When she really just needed to put some more salt in your food. So don't forget to add salt. Now, if you're one of those people that go out and eat fast food and eat out, then I don't think you should put salt in your food. But if you're like me, that generally cooks at home, the only salt you're really getting is the salt that you're adding to food. So that already, the flavor of the jalapeno is already getting to my throat, which is nice. So I know there's some nice spice in there. I know I need a side light so that you guys can see me better, but that's coming next time. This is just me throwing this together. You know what I like to add in the into the egg mixture is a little cream. You know, I'm a big fan of heavy whipping cream, but you can always use almond milk. You could use whatever milk you particularly like. Coconut milk. I tend to like cream, so I'm just going to add cream into that. I don't do a lot of dairy, but since this is going to be a feta, I'm also going to add feta to this when this is all over. We're going to do that. So let me just finish doing this. Hi, okay, so now that's sitting in the oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some chives. It doesn't really matter how many you take from a bucket. And I'm just going to chop them up because they're just something pretty to throw on top. Gives it a little more flavor. I think these smell flavorful. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be a nice little touch just to throw on top of the dish when you're serving it. So you just chop them up. Coarsely, doesn't really matter. The size doesn't count. Nothing. Just whatever you're comfortable doing. And then I'm going to serve, I usually serve a frittata with a nice salad. So what I like red leaf because red leaf is a nice soft leaf lettuce. You can choose any kind that you like. And I like red because, again, different antioxidants. You're getting red antioxidants, you're getting green antioxidants in one meal, which is always super important. So I would normally make a much more, I don't know, fanciful dressing for a salad, but since the frittata is gonna have so many flavors to it, we're gonna keep it really simple. So we're just gonna take some macadamia nut oil. Again, you wanna look for a 2/3 to 1/3 ratio of oil to vinegar. So again, I just eyeball it. You can use a measuring spoon. You can do whatever you want to make sure you get the ingredients correct. But I usually tend to do most things by taste. And we're going to use a little bit of this star vinegar forest raw raspberry. It sounds delicious. It smells delicious too. You just put a little bit of that in. You don't have to put too much, otherwise it will overwhelm the flavor. I always add a little salt just to enhance everything. I do believe salt enhances everything. And I do have a whisk specifically made for salad dressings. I have multiple whisks in every single size and shape that you can. But yet I use a fork to stir the eggs around. Just what you're used to growing up, I guess. All right, so we're gonna stir this. Oil and vinegar, see how it goes. That should be enough. And I was thinking of putting maybe cashew nuts in the salad just to give it a little bit more omegas, but I don't think it's necessary because, again, the frittata is so flavorful you don't really want to overwhelm it. So I'm just gonna stick my finger in here, which is clean. Needs more vinegar. It's a little too oily. Oops, I've added a little too much there. Just stir it around. I think I will put a little bit more salt in it. I don't think there was enough salt in there. And let's see how this turns out. Just stick my finger in there again. Much better. I think that'll be delicious on the salad. So as you can see how easy it is, while that's in the oven cooking, doing its own work, you can make the next course and it'll be simple to plate and it'll be a very simple meal. So I will show you what it looks like when we're done. Okay, so the timer just went off, so get ready for the big reveal because here it comes. And I hope I'll be able to show it to you. Then you'll just see how beautiful this can be. I hope you can see that. Do you see how it just puffed up really nice and easily? And look at that, beautiful. So we're gonna let that sit for a few minutes. You can either let it sit for a few minutes so that everything sort of congeals very nicely. Sometimes what I'll do is I just sort of pick this up and I'll turn it right over onto a pan and flip it out of the pan that way if I want to serve it in a big platter. Or what a lot of times I do is I'll just serve it in the big cast iron skillet and put something nice around it, plop it right down on the center of the table, and it's really pretty. Yeah, you can see how much I use these. I guess I get to buy new ones soon. So what I'm going to then do is take chives that I've chopped, and we're just going to throw them on top, sort of just to give another little dose of antioxidants, another little dose of sort of detoxifying ingredients, which are really nice. You could also do it individually in case the person doesn't want that little extra bit of tang to it. I'm also going to take the salad. I'm going to throw some Parmesan into the salad just to give it a little bit of kick. I'm going to do that. Just to give it a little saltiness. As you can see, I am a big fan of salt. Then we're just going to pour this. You just want to, since it's oil and vinegar, they will separate. So you just want to whisk them together again. And then you just pour it into the bowl. Really simply. Try to get all that goodness out of there. And I'm hoping that I made enough salad dressing. But the good thing is, you can always just make more. So you just toss the salad dressing, you just toss that regularly. And you have a perfect Sunday brunch meal. You have a perfect afternoon lunch. This can even be dinner, it can be breakfast, you can do whatever you want with this. Toss nicely, so the salad is all tossed, as you can see that. And again, I always like to use bigger bowls than I need so that things have room to breathe and you have room to maneuver them around. Because sometimes if you're trying to toss a tight salad, you can't get there. So I'm gonna get ready to eat this because I'm hungry now. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and until next time, I'm Dr. Fred.